We spend so much time of our lives worrying about what other people think about our business, about what we're doing. Well, I'm just here to tell you nobody cares. Now, that sounds really brutal. It sounds really blunt. But in all honesty, nobody really cares what you do. People may have their opinions about what you do, but at the end of the day, the only person that has to answer, in most cases, only person that has to answer to those situations is you. The sooner you realize that most people really could care less about what you're doing in the moment and long term, the better it'll be. So if you do feel like you're always worried about what other people are thinking, don't feel bad, because that just means that your brain is working how it's supposed to be working. Humans are wired to care about what other people think because of a ton of evolutionary reasons that I won't get into. But humans' brains are wired to be able to worry about what other people are thinking, because it can show that, first of all, it could show maybe you're in danger. It could show a lot of things. So of course we have to think about what other people are doing a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things, as far as, let's use an example of, I'm going to drop out of college to become a rapper. Let's say that's your dream. At the end of the day, people are going to tell you this, they're going to tell you that, they're going to tell you it's not a good idea or it's a great idea. But at the end of the day, it's your idea. It's your idea. And they really will not lose sleep at night if you don't do it, or if you do it. On most days, we're out in public and we're walking down the street and we're making mistakes, whether it be mistakes walking down the street or a mistake anywhere. Most of the time, people don't realize, even at work, a lot of times we think, oh man, I made a horrible mistake. And no one even calls it out because it's not something that actually matters in the grand scheme of things. There is no one that is going to watch yourself like a hawk like you. You know every single thing that changes with you every single day. Let's see, you get a pimple. People are going to notice that, maybe, if they're really staring hard at you, but most people aren't going to even notice that you have a pimple. And you're walking around all day thinking like, oh, I have a pimple, I got to cover it up. And most of the time people notice things because people are acting different. Like, if I got a pimple and I went to school or I went to work or I went wherever and I just ignored it, most people probably won't even say anything or even think about it. But if I go there and I put a Band-Aid over it and I'm constantly like, leaning over while I'm talking so I can, hide the fact that I got a pimple, people are going to start to say, what is he hiding? Why is he acting different? What's going on there? And then they'll notice it. And if it's somebody that is a jerk, then they're going to start bullying you for it or whatever. But for the most part, you're the person that's calling these things out. You're the person that is letting people know that this is what's different about me. I could literally go in front of Times Square and do 50 cartwheels. Well, we know that's a crazy place anyway, but I could go to a highly populated place, do 50 cartwheels, twerk, do whatever I want to do. I could do all kinds of stuff out in public, and as long as it's not illegal, at the end of the day, people are just going to walk by. Whatever you want to do in the moment, as long as it's legal and not sinful and not evil, just do it. Just do it. As long as you're not hurting someone else, just do whatever you want to do in the moment. So just think about it. You're constantly worried about what other people are thinking. It's consuming you. Just think. I mean, some people have anxiety where your entire day is you thinking about what other people are thinking. And that is not me knocking it at all. We all have our own things. I've definitely had to deal with that too, where I'm walking down the hall and I'm like, oh, this person is watching how I'm walking. And that's crazy. Like, what if I misstep? What if I trip over myself? Then they're going to see me. What if I'm holding my hands the wrong way? What if I'm holding my face the wrong way? Should I be breathing through my nose or should I be breathing through my mouth? What do I need to do to make sure that I'm not embarrassing myself in this situation? But just think about it. There's many people who have the exact same thoughts that you have, there are a ton of people. All those people are outside. All of those people that we're thinking are judging us are worried about if we're judging them. Like, we're worried about if we're judging each other. So how can this person pay that close attention to you if they're not even paying, if they're worried about you paying that much close attention to them? If you get what I'm saying, there is no way for everybody to be as self-conscious as everybody is, where even if you're the most confident person in the world, you're self-conscious. I mean, let's be real. Like, even the most confident people in the world, like their hair is done, they their teeth are perfectly white, they just look perfect. Well, guess what? Every morning they get up and put all those things on to make themselves look how they look. Whatever you do every morning, everybody that has that level of confidence usually has some sort of routine or background that makes them get up and do that every day. And if they did not care, if they weren't self-conscious, they wouldn't be doing that every day. And then the folks who are supremely confident, who I can never knock because they just get up and they don't do anything and then they come outside. Those folks who are that supremely confident, I mean, first off, round of applause. But second of all, if they're that supremely confident and they don't care how they look or what they do every day, do you really think they're worried about your hair being uneven? Or you really think they're worried about, one side of your face being a different height of the other? They're not worried about that at all. So we really only have a really small amount of the population that's even thinking about what we're doing on a daily basis. And it's usually because they want to be our friend. I mean, to be honest, people who stay around and continually want to stay around, I mean, it seems like they like being around you and they want to be your friend. Now, I grew up in a time period where World Star was like top shelf stuff. World Star, every week we was checking to see what was happening on World Star. Somebody was getting knocked out. Something disgusting was happening. Something was always happening on World Star Hip Hop. And we were constantly checking for it. And people were getting knocked out. People were running around yelling World Star, all of that stuff. Just think about it. If you saw a lot of some people you'll see, but if you saw a ton of the people that you saw getting knocked out on World Star Hip Hop right now, if you saw them walking down the street without the context of just seeing the video, would you really know who those people were? Would you honestly be able to pick them up out of a line? Would you be able to look at a line of people and say, that's the person that got knocked out in 2006? You really won't. I mean, people who are in high school or people who are in college who are pariahs, who are just completely separated, just think about it. In 10 years, none of these people will be around you. None of your reputation is going to be the same. And if it is the same, it's because you decided to keep it the same. But my point here is that even when you do see people do something embarrassing and it is funny or it is something that's memorable, at the end of the day, it's not so memorable that your entire life gets ruined. Now, there are certain cases where people do things that are illegal, people do things that are absolutely nuts, and they're just known forever for that, and they can't find jobs or they can't do that. But just think about the percentage of people that do that. The percentage of people who are completely canceled from the world is very small. And I promise you that you being yourself and you being a decent person and you making a mistake or you making a blunder, a huge mistake, at the end of the day is not going to change your life forever. Now, if you haven't noticed, nobody really cares about what you're doing. Nobody cares what you're doing. And I think that's the best thing that could have ever happened to us, is that nobody cares what we're doing. So guess what? I love when people don't care about what I'm doing, because then I can mind my business and I can work without worrying about what other people are thinking about what I'm producing. For instance, with a YouTube video, if you make a video and you put a lot of time into it and you're proud of it and nobody watches it, well, guess what? You got to express yourself with no consequence, because you also didn't get hate comments. You also didn't get a lot of stuff. And if you do get those things, guess what? Like I said earlier, those people must want to be your friend. If they took the time out of the day to leave hateful comments on your things, they must want to be your friend. And you must have inspired something in them for them to leave a comment. Because for someone to leave a comment on something, you really kind of injected yourself into their day. Now, with nobody caring, I mean, the possibilities are limitless. You have complete permission from yourself to be yourself. Just think about a situation and drop it down below in the comments. Think about a situation where you wanted to do something and you were really excited about it and you were ready to do it. And then you started thinking, but what if this happened? Or what if this person saw that I did this and their feelings were hurt? And you just just put it off on the back burner. You just say, I can't go back and get that degree because my friends will think that I'm a bad parent because I won't be able to spend as much time with my kids. Or I can't, I can't do whatever because this will happen. But nobody is within your skin. Nobody is within your skin but yourself. And you are the person that is going to care about it. Nobody is going to care about it but you. Now, some people may feel empathy, but at the end of the day, like I said, the biggest empaths in the world, they go to sleep at night. Some folks don't, but you all get what I'm saying. A lot of people will feel bad for you. They'll feel like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have told them that. But guess what? The biggest person that's going to have to deal with that is yourself. It's yourself. So always look at what you want to do. Think about what you want to do. And if it's actually what you want to do, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Because if you don't just do it, you're going to run into a million reasons why it won't work, or a million reasons about why this person is going to think this about it. Like, for instance, my wife goes around starting in like June with a Halloween bag. She carries a Halloween bag because she likes Halloween. And I know a ton of people are thinking when they see her outside, or maybe not thinking because I don't think people even notice it. But I know a ton of people who do notice it say it's July. Why is she carrying a Halloween bag? Because she wants to. It's just that simple. It's just because she wants to. Why would I let someone else determine what kind of bag I'm going to wear, what kind of clothes I'm going to wear, just because they don't feel that I should be doing it at that time? Like, people who leave Christmas lights up until like March and people are like walking by saying, why do you have the Christmas lights on? Well, first off, have you seen how expensive it is to keep those lights on for that long? First off, they're flexing on you because they got all those Christmas lights on and it's March and they're just not even thinking about it. So first off, they're flexing on you. Second of all, it's because they want to do it. It's because it's their house and they have their Christmas lights up and they're excited to do it. So why not do it? Why listen to what other people have to say about something that you're passionate about? No one is an expert on yourself and what you want but you. So we're not robots. We can't just flip a switch and just all of a sudden change how we're behaving. That is 100% true. And that is completely unrealistic to just wake up tomorrow and say, oh, now because I have this new information, I don't care what people think. Because again, it is literally against our nature to not care. Some way to start going about doing this is just think about it. You have something that you're passionate about. There are millions and millions and millions of other people who are passionate about that. And I want you to take this as an example. I'm 27. I like anime. I haven't watched much of it recently. I've been kind of busy, but I do love anime. I love it. I'm standing on it. I love watching anime. I love reading manga, whatever with it, whatever. So a ton of people would say, you're 27, you're watching cartoons. Oh, you got a little kid alert over here. Look, it's a little kid. And everybody's surrounding you and everybody's laughing at you because you're watching anime and you're immature and you got a neck beard and everything under the sun there. And I could very well say, I don't like anime and I can watch it under my covers at night in peace and just completely lie about it. So one story I remember in particular really makes me laugh when I think about it, because I'm sure some people were looking at me like I was nuts, is we had to pick a show or a movie in one of my senior classes where we had to sort of pick a movie with multiple cultures in it and analyze the psychological differences between it and some of the conflicts between each side and everything like that. And everybody picked like classics, like all these things, like, movies and everything like that. And I picked Tokyo Ghoul. And I stood on it. I had I didn't even think about, oh, what if people see that I'm doing an anime? They'll think I'm immature. I literally just picked it. It may have been one of the most engaging presentations I've ever given because guess what? I wanted to do it. First off, I wanted to do it. So why wouldn't I do it? It stood out more than anybody else's project did because everybody else was playing it safe. And I don't remember every specific project. If you were in my class and you didn't play it safe, hey, shout out to you. But I remember clearly doing that. And I remember like being like halfway through and thinking like, I just realized I did pick an anime here. It's kind of different. But I don't have to be ashamed about something that I like to do because at the end of the day, none of those people paid my bills. None of those people paid for my class. None of those people knew anything about me other than what I told them. So why would I allow them to take away my joy? Don't let anybody take away your joy. If you like I said, if you like anything that is legal and that isn't evil, then I suggest you do it, because we don't know how much time we have left here. So do what you want to do what's exciting to you, and bump what everybody else thinks. Because at the end of the day, what did I say? Ask those people what project I did in my senior year in that class. I bet they won't remember. Nobody cares. So the harsh truth is nobody cares. But also the beautiful truth is nobody cares. So lean into both of them. Sometimes, like I said, we are people, we are wired for it. And sometimes, if you're outside and you're doing something and somebody's looking at you and they're, balling up their fist, and they're kind of paying attention to you, and you see them breathing really hard, and they're like, they're like cussing at you, and they're saying like, stop doing that. At that point, your senses are going to pop up, and you're going to say, maybe this is a conflict coming up. But if it's not that, I mean, then have fun. So, use what your senses and what, God gave you as far as, your instincts. But at the same time, these folks don't really care. So have fun. And if there's any generation more than others right now to just look at it and say, listen, do what you want to do and don't listen to the noise, it's Gen Z. And if you're interested in figuring out why folks are continuing to be wrong about Gen Z, check this video out here.